Hello, hello. Hi and welcome to my video. Today we are going to be talking about the UWC application process. So backstory on me is that I got into the UWC-USA class of 2024 with an 85% scholarship, so 80% school funded and 5% national committee funded. So I'm from the Australia National Committee, and today I'm going to be talking about how the application process works for the Australia Committee because there are no videos out there on it, and I thought that for the people coming after me that this could be a handy video so that I know what to expect, because I did not have that. And let me tell you, it would have been so helpful. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so I'd say that there are 4 steps in the application process for Australia. And because Australia is quite small, like not that many people apply because they don't know about it. So there's a less complicated application process for that. You look at some other videos and they say there's like 4 interview phases or like a regional phase, but that's not like that in Australia because there are not that many people that apply. So definitely apply.
Hi, my name's Catalina. I'm here working on my UWC application. It's the 12th of January now, but it's due on the 4th of February, so I've got a few weeks, but I'm hoping to get it in earlier. And then the interviews are late February, like 20th of February. And then maybe I'll get an interview, hopefully, and if not, well then this video is irrelevant. But
Okay, so the first step is the actual application. So you find that by going onto the website and just pressing apply now, and there are a few different things you have to do. So there are 2 videos you have to make. So the first video is like a personal video that is 2 to 3 minutes long, and it's just about who you are, what your interests are, what could you add to the UWC community, that sort of thing. And the other video you have to make is a parent video, just to make sure that your parents know that you're applying and that they're okay with that. And you also have to answer 8 essay-style questions, but they're only 300 words, so they're not too bad, and they're about like your local community, how are you involved in that, what changes should be made, and like what sort of extracurricular activities do you do. And I think they range each year, so I don't want to give it all away, but it's not too bad. I just recommend starting early so that you get them all done, like you don't just rush at the last minute, because that will just make it like not a great application. So as well as those 8 questions, you also have to get 3 references, and 1 reference from your teacher, 1 reference from your an activity leader, and 1 reference from somebody else. So for me, I got my English teacher and my leader for cadets, because I do cadets, and my flute teacher. So I had 3 people, and the applications open in October, the end of October, and close in January before school starts. So make sure you get your teacher reference before school finishes, because otherwise you'll be trying to email them during the holidays, and that is not a good idea. So make sure that one of the first things you do when you start the application is get your teacher reference before the term ends. And as well as that, you also have to include your school report, your end of year 10 or 11 school report. And for me, I also included my ROSA grades. So you can't actually submit your application until the end of school term because you have to get those grades. But make sure, number 1, get your references and get them early, because my flute teacher and cadets were also all in the school term. So I had to keep chasing up their emails to make sure that they were doing them, and they only submitted them right before it was due. So that was really annoying. So make sure you get your references done. So that's the first step of the application, and I submitted that at the end of January. It's due 4th of February, at least it was this year. So you've got a really long time to do it, so make sure you spend enough time on that.
Hi, so it's Monday now, but on Friday I got an email at like 10 p.m. telling me that I was accepted to get an interview this Sunday. So last minute trip to Sydney, which is quite a way away from here, so we had to like reorganize and plan, but so excited, I've got an interview.
Okay, the next step of the application is the interview phase. So once you submit your application, there's actually only like 3 weeks until the interview, so they get through them really quickly, and then they let you know like only like a week or two before the actual interview. So they'll make arrangements if you can't get to the interview. So I had to go down to Sydney very last minute, but there were a few online video applications, and I know they did some from Melbourne as well, so you should hopefully be able to get down to somewhere, or if not, just a video interview, which is fine as well. So in the interview, I expected a lot more questions about my application, and they did mention a bit of it, like they said that I did a good job on the video and a few other things, but there wasn't actually that much. Like, I'd prepared for a lot more of asking me about my application, but really they didn't. They wanted more to know about how I think I would cope at a UWC, like with roommates, you know, how much experience do I have with that, and like what do I use as a de-stressor and that sort of thing. And also, like, if you were a politician, what would you change? I was really confused with that question because I am not a politics person, but basically I just talked a bit about sustainability because I know a lot about like fashion sustainability, and that's what I was interested in, so I mentioned that, made sure that they knew that's what I was interested in. And also I recommend doing your research because Australia doesn't get that many places, like we have 8 or 9 and there's obviously 18 colleges, so I would recommend looking at what places are available and then making sure you have a preference for those. It's important you do have a preference, just so that you can indicate what sort of area you're interested in. And even if you don't get your preference, or even if you don't like make it clear what your preference is, make sure you make it clear what your interests are, because like each UWC has sort of got like a specialty. And so like I'm really interested in music, and UWC-USA has a big music program, so that's one of the reasons why they sent me there. So
Hi, it's me. On Sunday I had my interview. It was very scary and stressful. I'll just run you through how it went. So at 10 a.m. we had a meet and greet with all the other applicants. There were about five of us all together in Sydney, but I think they were also interviewing people in Victoria and other states at the same time, and they had like a Zoom going between all of them. So at 10 we had a meet and greet for like an hour. And so there were 3 people in the actual room interviewing me, plus a computer with 3 other people on Zoom, and I had to like look at myself in the Zoom too. It was terrible, like it was really stressful.
okay, for the interview, I thought I would be a lot more nervous than I was. I got there, it was actually all right, so do not stress about it as much as you think you do, because honestly, just take time to answer, and then it's like not that bad. I walked out and was like, this was fine. And you get to meet all the other people who are getting interviewed with. There's no like group activities or like how you interact with other people. It's just some alumni from the National Committee were hanging out with us, and then one by one people got called in for the interview. And honestly, don't stress. It was fine. Okay, so the next stage after the interview is the financial aid stage. And so basically all they do is send you an email with an Excel spreadsheet and ask you to fill it out with basically like your parent and guardian's budgets and their incomes. And the biggest question is, how much would you be able to contribute to UWC, to your education? And then that's basically it. That's all it is. You just submit that, and then they say, we'll let you know. Everything is done. All you have to do is wait for a decision now, which is so stressful. Oh my goodness. So the way the actual National Committee makes their decision is, you can find this info on their website under the like how to apply the application process. But basically what they do is after the interviews they rank you nationally. Basically your rank decides like your preferences as well, so they take 3 things into consideration: your ranking based on how suitable you'd be for UWC, and then your preferences as well, and your financial aid. So say the top person doesn't need any financial aid at all, maybe they would get a little bit of a scholarship, but the second person who might need more of a financial aid would get more of a scholarship just because they were ranked really high, but the first person didn't need as much money. So they try to divvy out the scholarships as best as they can so everybody can get to go. And they also try to make sure that the preferences are, everyone gets one of their preferences, and be prepared to have like 2 or 3 preferences, because I mean just having one is unlikely to get you into that particular one, but if you indicate like a few different ones you want to go to, then you're more likely to get like one of those ones, because it just gives the national committee more options to like delegate the places. Basically, once you've finished everything, the national committee just has to decide. So once they allocate the places, they call you. They call your parents first to make sure it's okay, and then they call you, and it's so scary because you just get a call, you answer the phone and they're like, you want a place? And you're like, yes, or you're like, maybe not, but either way you're like, yes. And then it takes a few more weeks for them to finalize everything. They have to send it off to the school, and the actual school has to agree basically, and then after that you're in. That's the whole application process. So yeah, awesome. Thank you. Bye.